Okay, Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to all of you. Coach, Tanya. So, before I can even read my speech, this moderator asked me 3 questions. So, the answer to his question will be in the speech. Well, basically, the question why I write this book. Because nobody else wants to write. Because the subject is very sensitive, right? I and my colleagues from the National Audit Department feel that it's our responsibility to explain, to share knowledge of what we want to debate from our perspective. People may have a different perspective on their 1MDB, but I thought that since we were heavily involved in auditing 1MDB, and their auditing 1MDB for me and Kuan Officer is a kind of a unique experience, something that we never experienced. Yeah? So, but as you rightly mentioned, and my worry is down the line, say 10, 15 years from now, people may have forgotten what is M1MDB. So for those who are interested, those who are actual practitioners of auditing, whether in the public or the private sector, by having this book as a useful reference, they don't have to go all over the place to get the data, some basic data that are included in it. And this book has taken several years to get it completed because a lot of drama in between. So, but first of all, I like to thank Dr. Liao Humanology for launching the so-called soft launch of my book. Hopefully you can find the book in the bookstores soon. So ladies and gentlemen, I wrote this book basically to share my experience in auditing 1MDB, which is a federal government company, for which most of you are aware is involved in a multi-billion-dollar scandal which has made Malaysia famous worldwide. To me, of course, it is a national embarrassment and nothing to be proud of. As you know, 1MDB is one of hundreds of Malaysian government companies, but has attracted international investigations for siphoning billions of ringgit through money laundering, misappropriation and abuse of power. Ladies and gentlemen, Jabatan Audit Negara is responsible for auditing the financial accounts and public programs and projects of government ministries, departments and statutory bodies to determine whether the accounts are properly prepared or whether public money has been well spent through the various programs and projects in terms of economy, efficiency and effectiveness. In addition, Jabatan Audit Negara would also audit the numerous companies set up by the Treasury, other ministries and statutory bodies to evaluate their performance. But we don't audit their accounts since they operate as commercial entities under the Companies Act, whereby their accounts are audited by private auditing firms. 1MDB, for your knowledge, is one of the numerous MOF companies set up by the federal government as a strategic investment company with commercial objectives. Technically, it is responsible and accountable to the Minister of Finance and has to conform to the best practice guidelines of the Treasury to ensure good governance. One of which is that the Treasury representative must be appointed to the Board of Directors of the company. While the Jabatan Audit Negara can conduct a performance audit on any MOF in company with prior approval of the Treasury and properly gazetted. Now coming back to 1NDB, it was established in 2009 as a strategic investment company when federal government took the Terengganu over the Terengganu Investment Authority, or TIA, which was originally set up as a sovereign investment company. However, the Treasury has no idea as to the specific details and activities of this company, because this company has been exempted from conforming to the Treasury guideline and has no board representation in the company. So, for all intents and purposes, the company is directly accountable to the Prime Minister, who is also the Finance Minister and also Chairman of the company's Board of Advisors. For its first major investment, a joint venture with Petro Saudi, the company issued a 30-year Islamic medium-term note worth 5 billion ringgit and with federal government guarantee. It was in 2009 that the Treasury requested Jabatan Audit Negara to do an audit on 1NDB. Specifically to do a due diligence over the taking over from DRA. Jabatan Audit Negara was faced with an abnormal array of limitations on the scope of the audit and obstructions that prevented Jabatan Audit Negara from producing a proper audit report. So after submitting our report to the Treasury in 2012, we closed our file on 1NDB as a special audit as requested by the government. Then, as you know, in early 2015, there was so much news in the international media about alleged misappropriation by the company, while the alleged scandal was also raised in the Malaysian Parliament and local media. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament had also initiated proceedings to ensure allegations against 1NDB. The Cabinet also decided to request us, the Jabatan Audit Negara, to verify the company's accounts and make a report to the PAC. Thus, at governmental request, we had to reopen our file on 1NDB. So we took about a year to finish our assignment, double the time normally for us to complete the report, due to similar limitations that we encountered 6 years ago. When the PAC decided not to append our report, which has been classified as secret under the OSA in their report to Parliament, our involvement with 1NDB ended and we closed our file. That was in March 2016. In our 2015 report, we highlighted the heavy debt and we highlighted the very weak financial position of the company mired with heavy debt and had taken a series of loans which were mostly guaranteed by the federal government. Notably, within a period of just 5 years, they had committed some 50 billion ringgit of debt. Within 5 years, they took about nearly 50 billion ringgit of debt. So, siapa kena bayar? So, with very limited, very little revenue stream, there is serious concern about the company's position as a going concern. Interestingly, in its report, the PAC recommended for NDB to be transferred back to Treasury. Actually, that company is a company of the Treasury. They operate as a separate company. So because of this problem, the recommendation was transfer back the company to the Treasury. So, ensuring the company's colossal debt will be settled by the Treasury. So good luck to our friends in Treasury. So this thing happened in 2016. And then in 2017, February, I completed my contract as the Auditor General and retired from government service. And our audit report remained classified as an OSA document. Then, as you recall, in May 2018, Malaysia had a new government following the general election. Soon after, our audit report was disclassified as an OSA document, and the government launched criminal investigations against the company. So my audit team members in Jan were required to assist in the investigation and had to reopen the file. I and 2 team members who had already retired were also called. One of them is Wan Nafisah seated at the table. So we spent a few days up and down the court. So, following the investigation, the former Prime Minister and a few others were charged in the High Court for several criminal offences, and a few of us had to testify in court as prosecution witnesses regarding the so-called audit tampering case. This case alone took about 3 years to complete. Thus, my personal involvement with YNDB spans a long period from 2009 to 2023. So certainly a record for the Malaysian AG. Ladies and gentlemen, the idea to write this book actually emerged soon after my retirement in March 27. The audit of company, to answer Dr. Yat's question, the audit of this company is by far the most high-profile case Jabatan Audit Negara has ever handled, and its long experience in auditing the company certainly deserves the book to be written by people involved in the audit. So, upon consultation with several audit team members, I volunteered to write the book. With so much publicity on this case and the various dramatic episodes we had to endure since 2009, we felt that there is a need to document our experiences for future reference by Jabatan Audit Negara auditors and for the public to better understand the role and responsibilities of Jabatan Audit Negara in upholding accountability, transparency and integrity in the public sector. Our audit report unprecedentedly became a controversial issue because of the alleged tampering, while the Prime Minister and CEO of YNDB were charged in the High Court in 2019, and with myself and a few of my colleagues were requested to testify as prosecution witnesses. Hence, the more reason for using this book to provide our perspective on this controversy, as well as addressing public curiosity about the contents in the audit report. After so long, the book is ready this year for public consumption for whatever it is worth. So, ladies and gentlemen, this book hopefully will provide you with an insight into the contents of both the interim and final audit report, the report of the PAC, as well as perspective on the audit report tampering case. So, Datuk Liao, my experience in auditing YNDB is a rather unique one. Normally, we perform the audit, write a report, submit it to Parliament, and we can close the file. But in this case, after completing the report and submitting it to Parliament and brief the PAC in March 2016, in late 2018, our report was a subject of controversy due to allegations about it being tampered, whereby the Prime Minister and the CEO of YNDB were charged in the High Court for tampering the audit report to prevent certain information to the PAC members. Myself, Pernah Twisa, Batin, and Datuk Salwani had to testify in court as prosecution witness. For me, all this happening after my retirement as AG in February 2017. Thus, through this book, I am sharing this unique experience with the readers. And lastly, I would like on this occasion to record my utmost appreciation to all the YNDB audit team members for their invaluable assistance in writing this book, and to Humanology for publishing this book. Thank you very much.